Alright y'all, welcome back. Josh here with Josh Lawn Landscape once again. I'm in the shop, as you can tell. First of all, thank y'all for taking the time to watch, and thank you to all my subscribers. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button down at the bottom, and when the video's over, let me know what you think. Leave me a thumbs up if you like it, and comment on what you see. So, let you know what we're going to get into here in just a second, so stick around. Alright, so as you can see, in the shop, got the 920. Previous video, you noticed a little quick video of the starter issue. So I have purchased a new starter. So I have it here. As you can see, I've already got the back cover, shield, guard, whatever you want to call it, off, and I'm fixing to replace this thing. So first thing I'm going to do, so you got the seat up, is go ahead and I'm going to disconnect the battery, and then once I do that, I'll have you'll see there's the negative cable going here, so I'll have to loosen this, take these two wires off, and then I'll loosen the nut here on the bottom, and there's your positive cable, and I believe there's two other cables, this one here and this red one here, that are connected to the positive pole here on the starter, so on the solenoid. So once we get all that disconnected, then we'll take it out and we'll put the new one in. It just mounts with two bolts, one right back there, you see it there, and one right here. Drop it out, put the new one in, line it up, and put the bolts back in it. So try to get some footage maybe of that and see if that fixes it. Hopefully so. So we're going to try it one more time here just to make sure, show you what it's been doing. I'm going to move my ratchet. And that's all she'll do. So, like again, as I said in the previous video, I've tapped on the starter while turning it to try and get it to engage, thinking maybe it was stuck. I turned it and off and turned it on, thinking maybe it would slip, but no go. So again, new starter, picked that up today from a dealer, and we're gonna get this swapped out. So, and I have one more thing to show you. I've got some more work that's going to be done to this thing Saturday. So let's get into it. So the first thing I do here is disconnect the battery. I've got my 1/4 inch ratchet, which is plenty enough to disconnect the battery, and it is a 10mm socket for the nut here. So we're going to disconnect our cable here. Got it loose, and gotta go grab me a wrench, because that is actually a lock nut. So they have lock nuts on these, so should be a 10mm wrench. We'll get this disconnected, and then we'll get to the starter. Alright, so as you can see, I have both my battery cables disconnected. I like to disconnect both of mine so I don't have to worry about it. And I've already taken the negative cable and that additional wire here loose. This is a 13mm. The starter bolts here and here in the back there are actually 12s. So you'll need a 12mm, a 13mm, and a 10mm. So 3 sockets so far for this project, and I got those broke loose. I'm going to take the positive cable in and all loose from the bottom, and then we're going to get this thing out of here. As you can see, I got my ratchet on there. This is a 13, and there are 3 wires kind of tied up in here for the tools. So a ratchet may be best. You might can get an air ratchet in here, but you can see there's not a lot of room below the head of the ratchet down there. So, and this also has a lock nut on it. Once you get it good and loose, wiggle the ratchet off. Still not all the way there. Oh, there it goes. And it goes a-flying. There you go. This is also a 13 on this bottom one. So you'll pop the positive. And this wire here. And then this junction wire here that goes from the fuse connection over to the side of the engine. So once you get all those out, then you can move back up top and take the starter out. So again, those are 12mm bolts up top, one there, one on the other side. I'm gonna get this thing out, put the other one in, and then show you when we get back to that point. Changed my mind. Let's look at this thing as it comes all the way out. So I'm gonna kind of be showing you from this bottom angle. So looking up, I'll come in from the top. Got my, I think it's a 6-inch extension and my 12mm socket, 3/8 drive. Let's get this thing out of here. One. It may just be bound up in there, but we're going to see if we can get it on out. Out. Let's see if this thing will come out of here. There it goes. Just a little wiggle waggle there. Get it out of the hole. Oh, be careful. Also, look at here. There's a small purple wire on the other side that's on just a terminal end. So let me get some small needle nose real quick so I can get that off, and then we'll get it back together. Alright, so I had that shiny new starter in and reconnected everything and got the positive and negative cables hooked up. So here is the moment of truth, y'all. We'll see if this fixes it. Uh-oh. That's not good. So guess I'm back to square one, and we'll see what I can figure out. Y'all let me know. Well, sometimes you never know. So thought it was a starter because sorry, I'm blinding y'all with my pen light here, because it was the original starter. 1,340 hours I think is what's on it. But and I felt like when you tapped on it, it was trying to engage. So I was kind of thinking, well, it's just done gone bad. So as you could tell, I put the starter on, it's doing the same thing. And it turns out, battery. I took, posts were swapped, but I was able to get it hooked up. I actually took the battery out of the Toro. My father-in-law just said to try it. So, I was at that point, I'll try anything. So, took that battery out, hooked it up, fires right up. Purrs like a kitten. So, it's one of them things. But hey, maybe now I got a spare starter. I've got the new one on there. I'm not taking a brand new starter back off to deal with it. So, that's that. Hang on, we'll get it wrapped up. Alright, well, as you can see, I got the old battery out. I'm going to take this one with me to the dealer tomorrow and see if they got one. I actually bought this from an auto parts store. So this time, got about 2 years out of this one. The original John Deere battery, I think I got 4 years out of, or a little more. So, I'm going to try to go get an OE John Deere battery. Hopefully it'll last a little longer this time. But just a review on the starter is to take the heat shield off on the back. It's 4 13mm bolts. There's 2 on each side down there. Take those off on each side. You can pull that out of the way. It is a 13mm nut. It's inside this boot here. 13mm nut inside here to disconnect these. There's a small terminal hook up here that you have to make sure to disconnect, and it's a little purple wire, I believe, on this particular model. And then you have 2, the one in the back, 2 12mm bolts holding the starter on, and there's another 13mm bolt holding the negative battery cable and that secondary wire there on it. And the batteries bolt and nut are 10mm. So that's all the stuff that you'll need for changing the starter on John Deere ZTrak, particularly the Z920M with the FX730V engine. So it's probably the same for most all of the 730Vs on the other models, but mine is a Z920M. So that is the starter replacement, and now it's going to be a battery replacement. So thank y'all for taking the time out to watch. If you haven't yet, once again, hit the subscribe button, leave me a thumbs up, let me know what kind of experiences y'all have had with this, and y'all keep grinding, y'all. That's all we can do. So be safe, be kind, be blessed, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks, everybody.